On a story I've been following since election night, North Dakota Public Service Commissioner Julie Fedorchak and her campaign have now filed complaints after she says she was the victim of election interference during last week's primary. On election day, voters received misleading and false text messages claiming Fedorchak had withdrawn from the congressional race, which she went on to win on the GOP side. Valley News Team's Courtney Lockie joins us now live in studio with the latest information and where this goes next. Courtney.
Justin, the text messages were sent from a series of rotating phone numbers, making it appear as though they originated from North Dakota. Complaints have been filed with multiple federal agencies, among them the U.S. Attorney's Office, the Federal Election Commission, and the Federal Communications Commission. Fedorchak's campaign is asking these agencies to investigate under the relevant federal laws. Her campaign lawyer says these messages, which lacked the required paid-for-by campaign disclosure, were designed to deceive voters and disrupt the election process. Fedorchak is urging a prompt investigation, saying the integrity of our elections must be upheld. She won the Republican bid for North Dakota's U.S. House seat with 46% of the vote and will go on to face Democrat Trygve Hammer in November. Justin.
All right. Thank you, Courtney.